Is Madam Web really that bad of a movie? On Rotten Tomatoes, it's currently sitting at a 16%, low-key tied with Morbius. On IMDb, it's sitting at a 3.6 out of 10.
You know why?
Why?
Disney didn't pay them.
And then one of the critics went out their way to say, it's a poorly executed attempt at a comic book movie.
To be honest, I think I know what any real Spider-Man fan would think about this movie.
So then, let's get into it then. So we just got out of theaters watching Madam Web, and pretty much, the film starts out with the mother of 50 Shades of Grey and the bad guy of the film, who was in the Amazon rainforest with her mother when she was researching spiders before she died.
I'm sorry, cause that shit overly complicated, bro. Hearing you say it, I'm like, bro, I don't know what the he's saying.
That's the line from the trailer that they didn't even include in the movie. So Cassandra Webb is now in 2003, and she's a paramedic. Her co-worker is Spider-Man's uncle. She falls into the water, somehow gets her powers, and becomes schizophrenic. Meanwhile, Tristan Tate is having nightmares, so he vows to kill 3 motherless teenage girls. So the film is Dakota Johnson and some girls running away from a not-so-friendly neighborhood spider guy.
I was about to say spider guy.
Welcome to another episode of Kaylex Encounter, and if you've been here before, so what's funny about this movie is literally written by the same people that wrote Morbius. And I'm like, how are people still employed, bro? Yo, aren't we in a recession?
Trying to understand because Morbius came out and then they filmed Madam Web.
Then on top of that, the director of this film, her name's S.J. Clarkson.
Her? It's like
Yo, this was her first movie, bro. I mean, she's directed some stuff before in the past. She actually did the first 2 episodes of Jessica Jones.
Which wasn't bad.
It wasn't bad, so now I'm thinking, what happened here? Well, you know what's interesting? I could see the Jessica Jones influences in this movie. So if you look at the last films that the writers of Morbius dropped, they did Dracula, 25%. The Last Witch Hunter, 18%. Madam Web, 17%. Morbius, 15%. And Gods of Egypt is at 14%. They are on a poop streak right now. They're literally shitting the bed every single time they put pen to paper. So one of the people on Rotten Tomatoes said, this film is fine for the first 30 minutes, and you almost wonder if it might not be as bad as everyone is imagining. But then it somehow gets worse and worse until you feel embarrassed for the cast.
I might actually have to disagree with that person. I think the first 30 minutes might have been the worst part of the movie.
Bro, I didn't know if I wanted to walk out or not.
Okay, within the first 5 minutes, I was ready to get out of there, bro. I'm sorry. I'm like, yo, what the fuck?
The only reason why I personally stayed was because I was wondering if, since I already felt like it was gonna be a bad movie, I didn't want to bring that energy into it.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? Let me sit down and see what they have to offer, because maybe it could be something.
That's exactly why I stayed.
If you guys are enjoying this episode, click the like button. It really helps grow the channel. All right, let's get back in. And then on Twitter, somebody said, wow, I'm at a loss for words. I just left the theater and I've been crying since the movie ended. Dakota Johnson gives an Oscar-worthy performance as Cassandra Webb. Ezekiel is truly an unforgettable villain, and that Morbius cameo had me on the edge of my seat.
Facts.
10 out of 10. I think I could agree with him. But then he replied to his own tweet with, at Sydney Sweeney, Bro did all that to try to get Sydney Sweeney's attention.
Ew.
You don't think it worked?
Nah.
And then another person said, y'all were entirely too harsh on Madam Web. It isn't by any means the worst film ever made. The hyperbole has to stop. It's far from great, but it's not even really a bad movie. Let's be for real.
I might actually agree with that last post. I do think people are being a little too hard on the film. I'm in no way saying the movie's great. I'm not saying it's good. I'm not saying it's worth it. But people are being bad. I would argue that there's people probably saying all that stuff, it's bad, worst movie ever, this, that, and third. They probably didn't even watch it. I'm not gonna sit here and feel me. I saw the movie. Not the worst movie I've ever seen in my life. There's fucking MCU movies that I would put Madam Web above some certain MCU movies.
Oh, really?
Black Widow. I said it because that shit.
You really didn't like that?
No, not at all.
Like a Disney Plus movie. If there's anything bad about this movie, it's the acting.
I was gonna curse. I'm not gonna curse.
I mean, we deep enough into the video where you can curse.
Nah, I'm not gonna curse. I'm gonna try and keep it calm, you feel me?
She basically pulls up to a baby shower and then starts talking about miscarriages. What are we doing?
No. She wasn't even talking about miscarriages. She was talking about dying from pregnancy. Like, yo, it's crazy.
I feel like the only person that was trying to act, I'm not saying good, I wasn't saying a good performance, but the only person that seemed like they were trying to act with Sydney Sweeney.
I would
With the
disagree.
little glasses
Nah, I
and
would
the-
disagree with you there.
You gonna disagree?
Atrocious. She was the. I ain't gonna hold you. She was the first person that made me like, okay, this is bad acting. Like, this is bad. Like, this makes me want to take up acting. If people like her are getting jobs, this makes me want to apply to Sony. I mean, there was one saving grace in this film. Not saying he was great. Not saying he was amazing. But Ben Parker.
You have a winning personality. I guess I got yours by mistake.
I can't remember his name. He's one of those, he's an actor that's always in like comedies.
Yeah, you see his face often.
You know, he's that guy with the face.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, him. Yeah, I know him.
Ben Parker was the only person that actually had some decent acting in that movie. And maybe Mike Epps.
This movie feels weird because they're victims throughout the entire thing, but it's really hard for them to fight back. So if anything, this movie tries to play off as like a slasher film.
I was about to say it's some type of survival thriller. Like.
Right, but the problem is that I think the villain is a little bit too OP for them. The villain is literally just Spider-Man without webs. And we know, like, as a comic book fan, you've watched Spider-Man movies, you know he has super strength, he has super speed, he has Spidey senses, so if anything happens to him, he could just catch it with it. So it's like, you're not fighting that. You got 3 teenage girls and a grown woman running away from the equivalent of 30 men in one body. Think about that. You lost off rip. So as you're watching the movie, at least for me, I'm like a little bit disconnected because I'm just like, you're just bad at your job.
It kind of evens out the fact that she does have clairvoyance. Being able to see the future evens that out.
I don't think so. Because regardless, there's even a scene in there where he's literally able to kill them off, but he just stands there. It's just like literally, it's textbook definition of bad directing on the director's part. Because the characters have nothing to do. The character doesn't know what he wants, and I'll say for plot purposes, they have him walking slow. They have him doing the absolute most to kill them off. So then that goes to another thing. With her clairvoyance, it almost takes off the edge when it comes to stakes in the film. Stuff will happen and we'll be like, oh, but she could just go back in time and fix it. This movie would have worked a little bit better if they tried to take the psychological thriller effect. Very similar to Jessica Jones. To be honest with you, the more I talk about it, it feels very close to Jessica Jones. But for whatever reason, I think Jessica Jones worked a little bit better and her abilities were super strength. So the people that were coming after her, she was at least able to handle herself. Her clairvoyance versus a Spider-Man didn't work so much to the point where even the producer pointed out that it was a tricky issue. So look, this is literally coming from the words of the producer. He said, it's a different kind of movie in that universe. It's almost in a way more of a thriller. Adding that, it's not an action piece because in a way, Madam Web's skill set is not conductive to an action piece, which literally justifies everything that I'm saying about this character. The action in this movie is so bad because it's really hard to show her abilities. Her ability is really good for like, if I'm reading a novel, because I can explain what's going on. But for a visual medium like film, that's a really tough way to pull that off. And that's why I think maybe Jessica Jones works a little bit more, because she has that strength that she could combat them with. The most annoying part for me was the fucking editing of this movie. Bro, it was just getting out of hand, the amount of schizo edits. I'm just like, bro, what is happening on the screen?
I mean, if you're gonna have that much, tone it down a little bit.
Like,
Niggas was going hard. Yo, they was going hardcore. every chance they got, hardcore. Like, yo, that shit was insane.
The screen was literally
Oh yeah, and then the shaky cam would not let up. Every chance they get, they would be like, yo, the camera was here. 2 characters are talking. They'll go, zew, zew, zew. I'm like, yo, take it easy.
But you know why I think they did that? I think the big reason why they was doing all that,
they were trying to
hide the bad action.
No, I was trying to hide the bad acting.
Well, both the action and acting. There was moments where I'm just like, what is going on here? Like, it would glitch out and bro would be holding somebody by their neck, but because the editing's all over the place and then the camera's so fucking shaky, the shit almost gave me a headache.
All in all, what I will say is, if you're not really much of a comic book fan, you might be able to enjoy this movie for what it is.
Okay.
If you're a casual Spider-Man fan, you will hate this movie. But if you're a real Spider-Man fan, and I say this after having to do a little bit of research on some more Spider-Man lore that I had no idea about.
Right.
There are things in this film that you will recognize and you might be able to enjoy. The biggest issue will be the piss poor writing. The lore is there. There's things that, at first when I'm in the theater, I'm like, the fuck is that? Then I went and did some research, and I'm like, oh shit, it's pretty spot on. Like, if you're a Spider-Man fan, maybe wait until it's on a streaming service. I don't agree with the 3.5. I don't. I'll give it like a 5 on a good day. I'll give it a solid 5.
I'm gonna give this movie a 4, bro. I could see this doing numbers on the FX channel. You know how like you just scrolling through the channel? I could see this doing numbers on that shit, bro. This shit gonna go crazy on FX. But look, have you guys had the opportunity to watch Madam Web yet? If you have, go ahead, comment down below. Let us know what you think. And it looks like Marvel was trying to dodge a few bullets with the Madam Web press, so they went ahead and dropped Fantastic Four news. Click over here to see our reaction to the brand new Fantastic Four cast, and we'll see you in the next encounter.
Peace.